The next step is we are going to start pulling out the different details that we see on the face, okay? I always start with the eyes. That's just my preference. You don't have to start with the eyes if you don't want, but I'm gonna show you how I would do them, okay? We have this big chunky piece of charcoal. The eyes are pretty small, so you have two options. You can either get a blending tool, use the one that I gave you. You can pull charcoal off of your stick, pull charcoal off of the background, or, and you would then apply it, okay, where you needed it to be darker. Or you can just use the chunky charcoal and the blending tool together. Okay. Now when I look at that, I understand that this whole thing is not, the iris and the pupil are not completely black like I just did it. However, they are darker than all the areas around it. So I applied some charcoal. Okay, made her look like a possessed soul. And I'm gonna clean up the edges around it because those were accidents. And then I'm gonna use my eraser to make the areas lighter that need to be lighter. All I'm doing is referencing my photo. Okay, and if I go back through and I decide that I made my pupil just a little bit too small, again, I'm gonna use my blending tool, put some of that black back in there. Okay, and you can get the different texture you know, by dabbing some charcoal in certain areas or erasing other areas. Okay, your other option too is you can come up to the school and you can get a charcoal pencil from me. Okay, so if that's an option, you're gonna need to email me. The charcoal pencil gives you a little bit more control in the sense that it's, you know, it's a smaller tip, and you can just go through here and sort of apply in just the little areas that you need to. But in the event that you don't want to come up to the high school to grab a charcoal pencil from me, I'm gonna keep showing you with the charcoal chunk that I have here, okay? So just like we did in the eyes video, we're gonna apply the shading as we see it in the photograph. This is my reference photo. It is always in front of me. Okay, so I noticed that in here, it's pretty dark. You are applying charcoal to your face however you see fit at this point. Okay, if you don't want to do the eyes, don't do the eyes. But you should not, unless you're doing Katniss Everdeen, you should not be drawing what I'm drawing, because these shadows are just for her face only. Okay, and with skin tones, it's really important that you guys are just doing it in a gradual manner. I would not apply charcoal to her face, scribble on it, and then try to blend it in. I would pick it up on my blending tool and then add it that way, because skin is so delicate. Okay, so you're just gonna keep working on the area that you started on. Okay, if you've picked up a pencil from me, things you would be able to do would be to get into these tiny little areas. Okay, the other option, you can go and buy a charcoal pencil. Okay, I don't want you to outline though. I'm putting in the lines that are darker right now. So it appears that I'm outlining, but really I'm trying to get those darker spots in there. If you need to add more charcoal, don't do it too heavy. Sort of add a little bit. And then use your blending tool to smooth it out. Okay, you're gonna go throughout your entire piece this way, making sure that you are paying close attention to the detail that you're drawing at that time. You are supposed to be recreating the photo as you see it. Now, if you notice, these are eyebrows. So I kind of want to see those little hairs, but in the way that I drew it, it kind of made them a little too bushy and a little too fuzzy. So you can always go back and use an eraser to really touch things up a little bit. Okay, and finally, I'm gonna run and get a piece of white charcoal really fast. I put a piece of white charcoal in everybody's bag. Either you dropped it off at the, I dropped it off at your doorstep, or you came and picked it up at the high school. And these are for final touches only, not for big areas, but she's got a twinkle in her eye. So I'm gonna add some of that white back in there. She's got another one over here. And I'm just using the corner because this is such a small area. Okay. So we're just trying to develop the eye as we see it in the photograph. You are going to utilize this information for the entire face. You will have until October 2nd to finish this portrait. So we're gonna work on it a little bit each day. You're gonna take a picture at the beginning of class each day and submit it to an assignment. And then at the end of each class, I'm gonna have you also submit a picture of your progress that you've made during the class so that I know where everybody's at and that everybody has made progress.